It's almost night in the winter of 1939. A column of Soviet soldiers marches across a frozen landscape as the crimson horizon opens above untamed, snow-covered forests. This is the Winter War, or as the Finns refer to it, Talvisota, Stalin's invasion of Finland. As the column advances, a sudden flash occurs, causing a soldier to fall. The troops from Russia are numb. Cries of "Sniper fire, get down!" cause the Russian soldiers to fall to the ground and take cover as more gunfire erupts, causing another soldier to fall to the ground. Among the sheltering Russians, a whisper goes around. White death. A boy stands alone in the distance, his rifle balanced in his grip as he waits for another hapless soldier to come into his line of sight. It is completely covered in a white coat of snow and is obscured from view by the untamed environment and the snow that has accumulated around it. However, who is this man who fills every Russian soldier in Finland with fear? Simo Häyhä was born and nurtured in the untamed forests of Karelia in southern Finland. He was an innate hunter and marksman. Häyhä recounted how his upbringing as a farmer, hunter and skier had shaped his ability to become an exceptional sniper. He developed his marksmanship and won competition after competition while serving in the Finnish army and civil guard from the age of 17. It was said that his home was full of trophies for marksmanship. Simo is stationed as part of a garrison that guards the defense lines on the Finnish-Russian border when war breaks out. Simo's commanding commander gives Häyhä a solo sniper assignment early in the conflict after observing his proficiency with a weapon. Ironically, Häyhä's first operation as a sniper was to counter-snipe. Simo says of the operation, "My CO once attempted to use a scoped rifle to kill an opposing sniper. This Russian had taken up position some 400 meters from us and was firing straight toward our lines non-stop. Eventually, he sent for me and told me roughly where he thought the opposing sniper was. One of our lieutenants was there acting as a spotter when the duel began. Where he was supposed to be, all I saw when I initially looked for him was a small rock. But looking closely, we saw that he was hiding under a small mound of snow near that rock. With great care, I aimed my dependable M2830, and my first shot hit its mark. Because they assumed Simo would be somewhere, the Soviets were willing to ask for artillery backup to shell those sites because they were so terrified of him. In all seriousness, Simo claimed that the Russians put a lot of effort into trying to kill me. After taking out another Soviet sniper with great success, they started to intensively shell Simo's foxhole. My foxhole was surrounded by 50 shells, but in vain. Simo described something once. Still, despite their greatest efforts, the Soviets could only get a scuff, or at most, a ripped coat on Häyhä. Simo Häyhä uses sniper methods that are unheard of for the period. Simo, in contrast to his Soviet colleagues, prefers to employ iron sights over scopes because the latter run the risk of glaring and revealing the location of a sniper. The brilliance of their lenses, he claimed, allowed him to catch many a negligent Russian sniper. He is also unaffected by the cold because he always comes prepared with multiple layers of warm gear. Simo ventures out into the wilderness on a chilly December day and finds one of his favorite locations, a snow-covered tree with low-lying limbs that makes the ideal vantage point for a valley view. His breath conceals his position even with snow in his mouth. With a daily ration supply, Häyhä builds a temporary barrier around himself by pushing up the snow, then sits and waits for hours. Like any decent hunter, he waits and waits until his patience is rewarded. When 4 Soviet soldiers advance into the iron sights of his rifle, Simo fires quickly, reloading after every shot. 4 men lie in the snow, never to wake. Simo continues to fire his gun 25 times that day, breaking the previous record for the most sniper kills in a single day, adding to the Soviet ranks' ever-expanding legend of Simo Häyhä as the White Death. Not only did Soviet soldiers fear Simo Häyhä's reputation as an invisible sniper and the fear of his foes, a hero at home, but the Soviet High Command also placed a bounty on his death, making him even more despised. Certain Soviet sharpshooters desired that the bounty travel to the hotspots and wait for Simo in an ambush. For hours, one person positioned himself and waited. The sharpshooter assumed Simo had left when darkness fell and got up to return to base. A crack appears. However, the Russian stumbles in the snow and never hears it. Simo would continue to use his dependable M2830 rifle, but he would receive a bespoke rifle made for him by the Finnish government after he reached 200 career kills by the end of January 1940. Throughout the conflict, Simo keeps upping his kill total and accomplishes the incredible record of almost 500 sniper kills in 100 days. He leads a group of fellow Finns in early March in an assault on a stronger Red Army force that is trying to break through the forest. Simo remembered the conflict as taking place in the shadowy forests of Ulisma. One of many missions assigned to us was to counter-attack. Early in the morning, we took our places. We easily traversed a wetland that measured about 300 meters in width. After crossing the marsh, we attacked the enemy, who was positioned very near to us. My rifle worked flawlessly. Some of the enemy were only 2 meters away from me because of how close we were to them. The enemy was forced to retreat, but a few extremely courageous warriors stuck around to inflict damage on the rest of us. I felt like I was hit by a gunshot that was maybe 50 to 100 meters away. There's a whoosh, and Simo experiences tunnel vision before everything turns white in anticipation of the White Death, and he is struck in the jaw by a bullet that explodes. Following the fight, the Finnish soldiers discover what they believe to be Simo's bones and stack him with the other dead. Then, among the pile, one of the Finns spots a leg twitching. Simo was amazingly still alive, but only half of his face was left. The winter war ends after 3 days of him being in a coma. To rebuild his broken jaw, which was made from a fragment of hip bone, Simo underwent 26 procedures. He would spend the rest of his days in peace at his new farm in the picturesque Finnish countryside after his recovery, dying in 2002 at the ripe old age of 96. Simo was a legendary Finnish hero who also established a legacy as the best marksman and sniper in history. Simo responded, "I didn't feel anything towards the enemy when questioned about his involvement in the conflict. I just kept shooting as long as there were adversaries. Every time I spotted one, I just fired." His status as a commander made no difference to me. Fortunately, I have never experienced war-related nightmares. Even during the war, I had a peaceful sleep. I followed the instructions as best I could. He responded to a question about how he became so good at shooting by saying, "Practice." If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and watch more videos from us. Regards.